Hey guys, what's up? This is James. Welcome to my video. Today I want to tell a little story that experienced something that actually that I have never experienced, and I drew it over here. I draw it over there, and I will explain it what is different. Normally, so let me start right here. So we humans always interact with the smartphone nowadays, which is obviously you can't neglect it, or we always tab on those icons, right? Or we swipe the screens, or we look on the social media, email. So our hands moving a lot on the screens. So what you do is you constantly see screens, right? While you're doing that. So here's a human, here's a smartphone in his hand. It could be also a tablet, it doesn't matter. And we always interact. That's why I wrote interaction. The interaction implies social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, email, whatever. I wrote everything here. So that's the most interaction what you do in your daily life is swiping with your fingers, tapping on the icons, and it's what happens is you see screens after screens during the whole day. It's like capturing screens. Now, the reason why I'm telling you that because I have never experienced that, and that's why I thought I have to explain that, what the new experience was. So, as usually, I go to bed and sleep, right? Which you see over here. And normally, when you wake up, you think about things like what you have done during the day. Now this is little bit tricky when I say what you have done during the day, because mostly what you do during the day is this. But what I mean by that is that normally it's like let's say you go in the forest with your friends, whatever, and you play something outside, or you play soccer, you play basketball outside on the court, etc. I dream stuff like that normally, but this time, not dreaming, I mean thinking about it, right? But this time, when I was on the way and waking up, right, what you see here, it was like my thoughts were actually the screens. Meaning, when I was half up and half sleep, I woke up, and in half sleep and half woke up, you usually the thinking process comes up slowly. And the thinking process was the screens. Like literally, my eyes were on the screen, and I saw all the things I did with my swiping fingers on my smartphone. You saw like my interaction on Facebook, on YouTube, and all the social media, and email, checking my email, etc. So everything I saw everything in the screen I did during the day by swiping the finger on the smartphone. And that was quite really insane, interesting. It was literally like I'm laying down here, I'm half awake, half asleep, and as every morning you start thinking about things in half sleep and in the half waking mode. So what I literally thought of, it was like this, screen by screen. Those screens I was interacting the day before or before I slept. So I had all these screens, they were my thoughts, right? And those screens were those screens I was interacting before I went to sleep, like social media, email, YouTube, Twitter, etc. What did you during the daytime? The interaction between you, the human and the smartphone, right? You tap on things, you respond to emails, to Facebook, etc. And what actually happens is you see screen by screen by screen by screen. By tapping, it's another screen. By swiping, it's another screen. So when I woke up, and my thought came into the consciousness slowly. It appeared like this. It was like that my eyes were on the screen directly, like I'm exploring like this, like it went like this for some. That's the only way I can explain. It was like my thought was captured in those screens I were in the act before I went to bed, right? So let's say you're on your smartphone and you're on Facebook. Now you respond to something, or you're sending a picture, or you respond to a picture, or you like, dislike, or you're writing an email. And what you see actually is always different screens and different screens and different screens. And when I woke up, and my thought was instantly like screens by screens by screens by screens by screens by screens. It was like that I am the explorer of the screen of the smartphone. It's like really that my thought were captured in those screens, right? Normally, it's like when you wake up, and you're in a half awake, half sleep. You like you think about I'm going to the I'm going 2 hours to the bakery, or I'm at 12 o'clock. I'm gonna call my mother, or whatever. But or you somewhere in the real in action. But this, and that's why I have to tell a story. That's very interesting. What's going on here is I was actually captured in those screens on from the smartphone. I was interacting the whole day. So I saw screen by screen by screen by screen, and I thought about the screen, what I have done before I went to bed. During the day, obviously, I was interacting with my smartphone, calling, social media, email, YouTube, etc. And I saw like each screen I was interacting with were my thoughts. So my thought was like, all right, that was my first screen. Let me think about it. It was the second screen. So that's very interesting. I gotta examine it better, because I thought I have to write it down, because that was the first time ever that I felt like that my thought was captured in those screens instead of like you running in the forest, or in dreams you are like you feel like you're somewhere on a place on the earth, in a situation with humans, etc., and somewhere else, right? But when I was here and half awake and half asleep, it was like my thoughts were actually investigating all the screen swipes and taps what I've done on my smartphone during the day I was interacting with before I went to sleep. So you have to imagine like this. So I woke up and I didn't thought about anything, and just those screens popped up all the time. All kinds of screens I was interacting with, and I found it very interesting and fascinating what happens there. And so I thought I'm gonna draw it and explain it. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned.